Well, this is the village shop here, and this
Yes.
is Lee, and over there is Esme, who's just made me a wonderful cup of tea. So do you get many walkers calling in to see you then and having a cup of tea?
Not at the moment. Not
Yeah.
that many walkers at the moment. I guess that's going to increase.
Yes.
People
We
passing.
did have a guy, didn't we?
Yeah.
What was he walking around the place for?
I can't remember now.
Right.
He was walking with somebody in here last week, walking the coast to raise money for something.
Right. Oh, that's very interesting. Well, thank you very much. It's nice to be here, and you've got a lovely village, and
Thank you very
I'm
much.
very impressed with it.
We like it.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Well, it's 11 o'clock now, or just after, and I've had a good morning. I'm feeling pretty strong actually. I'm a little bit out of puff now because it's quite a steep hill up into this village, and the only place I've been able to find to actually talk to you is this bus stop at Dundrennan, and it's been a good walk. And I say the wind is right behind my back, which is very useful really. It aids just that little bit, but it's getting stronger, and they're forecasting around about midday for quite a downpour, and then that's going to be followed by 40-mile-an-hour winds. So I think I'm about 5 or 6 miles now from Kirkcudbright, and I'm quite pleased with that. And that's going to take me another couple of hours. My legs are great. I think the 2-day rest has helped. Just down there's a tractor going to go past. Just a sec. It's surprising actually just how little traffic there has been this morning. I've seen very few cars. It's almost like a kind of a Sunday morning feel about the place. The cloud is definitely building, and it's going to I think it's going to pour down later. But the good news is, if you check the BBC weather forecast for Kirkcudbright in English, or Kirkcudbright in Scottish, you'll see that we've got big suns starting tomorrow, lasting for about 10 days, which is very encouraging. It might be the end of this dismal weather that we've been having. It was a good move to go and stay up at the John Paul Jones campsite. I stayed there on Wednesday and Thursday night. It absolutely chucked it down all day Thursday and last night until about maybe 6 o'clock this morning. I was tucked up in bed at around about sort of 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock last night, but I was wide awake by about 5, and I got on and put the film on for today, which would have been when Ray Young and I walked into Dunbar. But I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last few days about all this running about that I've been doing, and I'm going to stop showing the East Scotland films simply because I'm doing enough running about as it is, trying to get these films on. And the West Scotland, you know, this is day 12 now, and this is the priority. And if I've got to travel 15-20 miles just to put an East Scotland film on, it's not economically viable to do that because of the cost of the petrol. I'm having to tick my engine over to make the film, which is costing even more diesel. But just to explain, with the good weather it takes away lots of my problems, because I've got a solar panel on my roof, and because it's been so dull and dismal, it's only taking the voltage up to about 13.5 volts, whereas it should be in the 16-17 mark. And now we've got some bright sunshine coming along. It's going to mean less of me having to run my diesel engine, because the solar panels feed my leisure batteries, which feeds the inverter, which gives me 240 volts. So when the sun comes out, it makes my expenses much less. So I think, like I've done all the way through this 4,400 miles that I've done up to now, there were days when he had to wait for me to come on, and I'm afraid you're going to have to do that again. I like to show a film every day, but the way I feel about it is, I think maybe by putting a film on every day, a lot of you people are actually probably struggling to keep up with me. And I don't mean that in a pretentious kind of way. You know, I like to keep up to date with the films, and there's nothing worse than getting 2 or 3 days behind, which I did do in the past, and I like to keep right on top of it. But to be honest with you, it's become like a job. I'm not getting any leisure time at all. I haven't been to the pub, I haven't done anything really, apart from it's either walk or edit, and sleep, and that's not much. I do a bit of reading, obviously, and I check out on the internet where I'm going. And fortunately, I've got a very good friend, my friend who's down in Kent, Clinton, who's probably looking ahead of me 10 or 20 miles, giving me some really top tips about what's going on, and check out this and check out that, and what a fantastic job he's done. And thanks very much, Clinton. You're a gentleman, mate. I can't believe that you're putting this amount of work into helping me, and I just wish you was here to help me walk. And you're welcome anytime. But it really is good information. I know there's a lot of it, but you're that kind of guy. You go into the great detail, and it really does help me. And I've pulled myself together walking. I think the 2 days that I had off did me some rest. I went and did some shopping in Dumfries on Wednesday morning and bought myself another can of Deep Heat, which I can remember my dad used to use, when he was footballing and all this kind of stuff, and I can still remember the smell of it, and I've been using it with good effect, especially before I go to bed, and it really does help, and it's helping my walking. I'm walking very well today. There's one or two steep hills that I've struggled up a little bit, but nevertheless, and I'm quite confident I'm going to make it all the way to Kirkcudbright, or should I say Kirkcudbright. My friend Brian, the bus driver, who I've seen a lot of recently, has been helping me. He's not working today, but he is working tomorrow, so whether I'm going to actually see him, because I won't be using the 501, I've got to get up to Kirkcudbright and suss out the bus timetables, because I'm getting nearer and nearer Stranraer, but I know there's some lovely walks to come. And even though it's not like as the crow flies, a straight run, I'm going right around the coast path, which really increases the mileage, but nevertheless that's what I'm here for, to walk every inch of the coast path. And I know it's not necessarily a coast path, but it's the coastal road, as near to the coast as possible. Bit of a laugh for you. I got a message from Australia yesterday saying, notice you're having trouble, Jim, with having to slow down. He says, do you really slow down for the red squirrels? Yes, I do. I don't want them having a go at me nuts, do I? The other thing as well is, I wave at Tony and Maureen, who are wonderful people. I met them in London when I was down in Kent walking, but just before I caught the ferry across to Essex. And I met them at St Pancras station, and we had a really nice day together, and that was great. And the wave was really for them, for Tony and Maureen. But the other day I put, give me a wave, and I've had 5 or 6 people saying, we was waving at you, we was waving, we was waving. So I'm going to have a little bit of fun with you. I'm going to produce a list of people that wave. And I don't know that I can get around to giving you points for the number of times you wave, but it would be interesting just to get a little bit of fun going, take a bit of the mundanity out of my monologues. So here's another tractor, so it's a good time. It's a good time for me to walk into the village and see if I can get myself a nice cup of tea. I had one just after I left the place I started, Auchencairn. I had a cup of tea there, thinking that there was more shops and a pub or a cafe or something, but it was the grocery shop where it doubled as like a tea bar as well, and there was 2 ladies in there that you met, very nice ladies. They were busy, I couldn't stop and talk to them, but very friendly people, just like everybody else in this area. So I'll get on my way. not far off now. I've only got probably another 2 or 3 miles to go, and I thought I'd just take a last break, about another 10-minute break. I've walked very hard today. I've done really well. I'm pleased with myself, and I've just met some people, got some good information from them as well. As to the bus services at the other side of here, because I think the 501, this is its sort of terminus. It only runs backwards and forwards to Dalbeattie, so that's no good to me. But it's been great, it's been lovely, and I'm looking forward to having a look around Kirkcudbright. That'll be great. I'll see you later. Just look at that. Just as it started raining, I've got some fish and chips, came out here and sat here. I've got about 40 minutes to wait for my bus, so this is the good way to pass the time.